Oh, I am feeling that. I am feeling that myself.
It's the Don't Make It Weird podcast with your hosts, Daniel and Dinosaurus.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Don't Make It Weird podcast, where we are always the height of professionalism and in no way have to take multiple takes because I forget words. I am one of your co-hosts, Daniel Quigley, and I am joined, as always, by the zany Zephyr who zigs when she should zag, Dinosaurus. What is going on, Dina? Yeah, you like that one.
Word?
Yeah.
Wait. Okay. So, I was gonna say, I don't remember the words.
You were supposed to be ready,
you deliciously dank demon. Got it. That's what I was gonna do. Okay.
So professional. We are the best. Mm-hmm. And we are joined by a very special guest this week. Someone that we are so excited that actually took the time to come on our show because, you know, usually after all the other guests, people are like, I'll just pass. We are joined by a Twitch partner, a self-proclaimed Legend of Zelda nerd, and the author of the World of Naisis series. His newest book, The Age of Reckoning Volume 2, is out now at major book retailers. Thomas Anthony Lay. Welcome, Tom.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Twitch affiliate, though, Dan. Twitch. I'm not Twitch partner yet. That would be amazing, though.
That was me.
Oh.
Well, you know what? By the time this airs, you're going to be a Twitch partner, and we're just going to
keep it in.
We're putting the positive vibes out there in the world.
Yeah, I'll happily, like, people will come and they'll be like, "Oh, a partner," and then I'll be like, "Hang on, this guy's got like 10 viewers." It's fine. I'm happy with that. I'll have more because they'll be there. Yeah,
there you go. Exactly. By the time this airs, right now it's just our job to make this a reality. We're just going to be pitching your Twitch.
We were right all along.
Yeah, you can be. Man. You can say so like you guys were first.
Actually,
that's right. We knew.
We predicted it.
Listen, we trust Dina's gut. Dina, what does your gut say about his Twitch partnership or affiliation soon?
That it's going to happen.
Yeah, see, done.
I can already see it. I don't really understand Twitch, obviously, as we discussed before, but yeah, it's fine.
And so listen, we have so much to get to on this show, and I'm so excited because, listen, we're going to be talking about both of his Age of Reckoning books. We're going to be talking about Naisis on Twitch, and we're going to talk about a charity that's very near and dear to his heart, the Pancreatic Cancer UK charity. We'll have links and everything in the bio. Are you ready? Are you excited, Tom? Do you have a good feeling what you're getting into today?
I am so hyped. You have no idea.
Even across the pond.
He sounds it.
I'm pumped. I'm ready.
I mean, listen. There it is. That's the energy I need from you, Tom. That's what I'm talking about. And as always, to keep the reins on this ship, to make sure that it just doesn't go down in a firing ball of just random chaos, we have the only adult in the room, producer Sean. What's going on, man?
Hello, everybody. How's it going, Tom? Welcome to the show.
I see you've got a very fun background for the folks at home this time, Sean.
Yeah, this is some real artwork, some real masterpiece chef's kiss artwork by friend of the show, Stevie Wildcard.
Reset. For the folks at home, we've had a 6-long show debate on what exactly a chimera is. Before we even get to Dina trying to get on this hill and defend herself, Tom, what when you hear a chimera, what comes to mind?
Let's put Tom on the spot.
So a chimera is a creature originally from Greek mythology with the head of a lion, a second head of a goat, and the tail of a snake.
See,
that is absolutely correct.
This is the correct answer, and this is what we've been saying. But for the longest time, first of all, this started because Dina thought it was pronounced chimera, and we had no idea what that was. And then she's gone on to tell us that they're cute little shape-shifting creatures that are like pets. And despite all of us telling her that she's absolutely wrong, Dina, please defend your position.
I am number 4. It is a different animal altogether. Okay, so the actual definition is a chimera is, in mythology, chimera, it's a fantastic creature with parts from different animals, whereas chimera is, and this is a literal definition that it has online, it says chimera is chimera. So it's actually a shape-shifting pet in I Am Number 4. That's what I've been talking about, and I will die on this hill that it is pronounced chimera.
Is it spelled
because
the
they
same?
shape-shift, because they shimmer.
Can you spell it for us, the latter?
CHIMAERA.
So it's spelled the same?
Yeah.
Or roughly the same?
No, that's not the same.
I didn't really...
It's different.
It's not the same spelling. Oh,
so
in fairness to Dina,
Tom?
Sorry, I think there's a delay in the thing. But in fairness to Dina, the very first time I saw it written down, I did pronounce it chimera. So,
yeah, like we told Dina before, it's one of those cases where it's easy to learn it by reading and never actually hear it. Mm-hmm. And so you don't really know how to say it.
I've just been replaced because he agrees with you. Excellent.
Actually, he already agreed to replace you pre-show, Daniel, with you showing up late as usual.
So fair enough. This is my final episode on the Don't Make a Weird podcast, guys. So Tom, I'll let you set up our next game.
Hello, everyone. My name's Tom. I'm your new co-host.
All right, so we are going to play a game of true confession. Everyone's got two stories. One is true, one is false, and no matter what, we've got to sell it like it is the God's honest truth. And we have to decide who's a liar, a dirty, rotten, smelly liar, and who's the truth teller. All right. Tom, I want you to lead us off. Dina, let's get a number, 1 or 2.
For who am I picking for? For Tom? I want number 2.
Go ahead with story number 2, Tom.
Okay. I once went on a date with the wrong girl, and I didn't notice until about an hour in.
60 seconds on the clock.
Where do you know her from?
It was a blind date set up by a friend.
Was it an online setup or?
Did you know her name?
All I knew was that her name was Anna. I knew I had to go and meet someone called Anna at a restaurant.
Did they give you a description of what?
How did you? Go ahead.
Did they give you a description of what Anna was going to look like?
There was no description. It was go to this restaurant, look for a girl sat by herself. She's called Anna. Introduce yourself. Have a meal with her.
How did you find out that it was the wrong girl?
So when I went into the restaurant, I saw a girl sat by herself. I said, "Are you Anna?" She said, "Yes." I said, "Do you mind if I join you?" And she said, "Of course." So we sat down, we had a meal. Across from the restaurant was a very sad-looking girl, all by herself for about an hour. And then she upped and left. And my friend texted me.
That's it.
Oh, man.
God.
All right. Daniel and Dina, is Tom telling the truth?
I really badly want this to be true because this is so good, and I feel so bad for original Anna. I'm going to say true. I'm going to believe you, Tom. I'm going to believe that face. Let's do this.
I'm not. I'm going to call bullshit.
You've been waiting
because
to
I don't
use
think
that.
that a girl. Yeah, I have. I don't think that a girl would wait for an hour.
All right, Tom, we're divided. Is it true or false?
Well, Dina, you were correct. It was a completely false story.
Oh.
Yes!
I trusted you, Tom. I
was
trusted
great,
you.
though.
A girl would wait for an hour.
I'm sorry,
That was
Dad.
really great. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was good.
All right, Dina, I think Dina should go next. She went last time. So, Dina,
Okay.
the guys are going to choose 1 or 2 for you.
Guess choice, man.
Okay.
Number 1.
Story number
Okay.
1.
I once faked getting amnesia to avoid somebody.
True.
Oh my God. 60 seconds on the clock.
Okay,
go first.
why did you want to avoid this person?
I went to high school with them, and I just didn't like them, and I just wanted to pretend that I didn't know who she was, so.
So how did you like fake a brain injury? How did you fake this amnesia?
I straight up said that I fell at work and I hit my head and I woke up in the hospital and I had no memory.
Did they try and jog your memory?
Yeah.
They did try to jog my memory a little bit. They were like, yeah, you remember me? We went to high school together, blah, blah, blah. Like, they did try, and I just kept, no, I don't know, I'm sorry. And I wanted to avoid her because she was a bully. It's still going to this day if I run into her.
All right. 60 seconds is up. Tom and Daniel. Is Dina being honest?
I'm saying false.
Going false? Man, all right. So usually Dina's crazy hijinks, the crazier it is, the more likely it is to be true. And the less crazy it is, the more likely it's to be a lie. I'm going false though too, man. I feel like I don't know if Dina could do this. I'm calling false. Too small of a town.
Okay, it's 100% true.
Oh my god.
I knew it. This is exactly the kind of manipulative scheme you would pull off, Dina, and I love
it. Manipulative as fuck.
This is why I'm terrified of you.
She is going to tune in and she's going to be like,
Tom,
that bitch.
She really is. Oh god, yeah. The jig's up. Sorry, Maria. I remember you. I just don't like you.
If it helps, I don't remember you. So
is that the real name, or is this another Jamiroquai?
No, that's a real name actually. Shout out you.
So elaborate on this a little bit. I want to know what happened. Like, did she actually believe you? Did you pull it off?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was actually at work. She came into work. This was 7 years ago, I think, because I was still living in like this little small town that I grew up in. And it was the first time I had seen anybody since high school. We were 3 years out of high school. And I was like, I don't want to do this. And I tried to walk into the back because I was on cash register at the time. And my manager wouldn't let me. So I turned right back around, took her order, and I was like, can I get a name with that? And she was like, you don't remember me? And I was
oh my god, you know what? That's like the ultimate insult to her that you like, I don't know who you are.
Yeah, and I was so impressed with myself because I usually can't lie, but without missing a beat, I was just like, no, I'm really sorry. This happens to me all the time, but I had a brain injury and I don't have any memory from anything within, like, if it's not within the last 6 months, I just don't. I'm sorry. Who are you? And she got so upset.
Oh.
And I was like, no, listen, it's okay. I have amnesia. And
oh my god. So Tom, if like after this episode airs, you might like tag her in a Twitter post and she's like, I'm sorry, who is this? I don't remember who you are.
Yeah.
Were you again?
Look, I aim to leave such an impression that amnesia won't stop it. So.
Daniel, tough one to follow.
Listen, I'm 0 for 2.
Yeah.
So I'm back to losing games. I'm very nervous about this one.
Okay, so Tom, go ahead and tell Daniel 1 or 2 for his story.
We'll go also number 1.
Oh, she's got the bullshit button ready. Daniel, story number 1, please.
So back in high school, I was actually in a White Stripes cover band called the White Lines.
All right, 60 seconds on the clock.
How long did you last?
Did you sing?
It was just really a high school thing. Once we got graduated, me and my friend, we kind of fell apart. I did sing and actually played the guitar.
Did you gig?
I don't have a question.
Did you gig?
Sorry, what?
Did you go touring?
So I did one thing for all my friends at like kind of like a pool house, but I also did like a show at a church. It was nothing like big, making money, but like we recorded all the songs. I've actually still got them on my computer.
Well, name a song title.
Any White Stripes song. So Fell in Love with a Girl, Seven Nation Army, like Literally all the
hits.
hits.
I wasn't listening.
Yeah. Oh my god. White Stripes. The White Stripes, Dina.
How many people were in the band?
It's a 2-person band because there's only 2 people in the White Stripes.
Who was the other person?
It was my friend Jenny.
All right, time's up.
See, that's such a such a simple story that it could be either or.
Well, Daniel's pretty simple-minded.
Dina's just going to call him a liar either way. It doesn't even matter what story he said.
She just wants
I don't think she's ever believed his story. She's always like,
I'm going to go ahead and say true.
Tom can make his decision.
I'm going to say true because, like, almost everyone was in a band at that age, right? Like, I was a screamer in a band when I was in college, so
almost.
We're gonna have to touch back on that.
Yeah, let's dig up the recordings.
All the way. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and go liar.
Don't get this the wrong way. That's bullshit.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Daniel.
So the answer is, it was a lie. That was actually producer Sean's truth. So I
had a gut feeling.
Yep, producer Sean was the one I was just the one in the audience.
And you didn't tell me you were going to do this, and I had to keep it together while you were trying to tell my story.
Yep. Beautiful. I didn't remember a lot of details.
The drummer's name was Emily, by the way, not Jenny.
I know. I had to throw Jenny on the spot for that.
Yeah, I can tell. We never played at church, but we did play some school gymnasiums, and we played some community centers, but never for money. It was always for fun.
Nice.
And the pool house he's talking about, that was my 18th birthday, and Emily and I played for like 3 hours on my birthday. It was incredible.
Yeah.
There was 2 things that gave it away. When you said church, I was like, Jewish. And secondly, you can't sing. So.
I can't. Yeah,
he has no rhythm, cannot play an instrument, so that should have been a dead giveaway.
Yeah.
I am not talented.
Yeah,
I love music. I have no shame, so I sing all the time, but I'm really bad. Like, not like, oh, hey, he's like, down on himself bad. Like, actually,
me too, mate.
Really
don't worry.
bad.
Me too.
Tom, don't feel bad. You don't know Daniel enough to know that he's full of shit. So don't feel bad.
That's why we have this.
All right. So now that we've gotten to the truth of the matter, we've gotten to the lies. It is time that we get to put Tom on the spot. Give us a reading, Tom. Wow us. I'm so excited because I've gotten to read it, and I can't wait for everyone else just to get to hear some of these some stuff.
So
from these stories.
he's going to read a short horror story called Cemetery Gates.
Even better. Dina hates horror. I'm so excited.
How about a little mood music just for Dina?
Oh, I love it.
Terrifying the better. If you get her just to leave the show,
So,
Tom.
I'm gonna bring the mic closer for this. I need to do. So I need to do what my Twitter community know as my mic voice, and it is the most redeemed point selection on my channel because people love it. They're like, it's ASMR, but it's also perfect for horror. So I'm gonna take a swig of water.
I'm excited.
Excellent.
Oh God, I'm gonna be nauseous. Okay.
It's not that scary, Dina. Don't worry. So.
My hands are sweaty. It's fine. I'm scared of everything. It's fine.
So, here we go. Cemetery Gates. I don't remember much about it. I can't logically come to reason with it either. Perhaps that is why I'm still here. For most people, it's an accident, an illness, or simply old age. But for me, it was something altogether unexplainable. Funny though, how none of us can talk about it without feeling that dark cloud loom over us, as if discussing it will coerce it to you. Even now, listening to my account, even though I've just started and you've just realized what the discussion is about, you can feel its icy claws drip down your spine. Maybe, just maybe, that isn't all in your head. Have you ever felt dread? I'm talking about pure terror, where you feel like your life is genuinely threatened and you can feel the blood drain from your neck only to be replaced with shivers and heart palpitations. That feeling, what if it isn't in your head? What if the draining feeling is caused by an entity just waiting nearby to drain your life from you, feeding off your fear? After this account, you may feel differently the next time panic grabs you. I had sleep problems. I lived alone and suffered with anxiety, which often woke me in the middle of the night. Occasionally, on the nights where the anxiety was the worst, I would take a midnight stroll through the nearby cemetery. I don't know why, but being so close to death and looking over the tombstones calmed me somewhat, as if there were problems bigger than what was in my head. By the time I got back into bed, I felt better and I was able to sleep. This was normal for around a year, waking up in a cold sweat and panic, getting dressed, heading to the cemetery, then returning home and sleeping the rest of the night through. Then came All Saints' Eve. To clarify, most will know it as Halloween, but where I lived, it was much more common to celebrate All Saints' Eve than All Saints' Day the following morning. It's tradition to head to the cemetery at night and place candles on the graves to ward away evil spirits. I'll be honest, I loved walking through on this night because it looks so beautiful, and I can actually read some of the epitaphs through the darkness. My sleep was disturbed as normal that night, but I actually felt excited and sort of relieved that I was able to walk through the cemetery on such a beautiful, yet unusually cold night. After dressing myself in my warm winter coat, I headed out and locked up. It was probably around 1 a.m, although I didn't bother to check. It was usually around that time. As I arrived at the wrought iron gates, I felt an unusual chill course through my veins. Shrugging it off, I pushed the gates and they wailed open for me. That high-pitched squeal always made me shudder. It was loud and shrill, and the gates were heavy, so it moaned on for far too long. When I set foot inside, the sky darkened. It sounds crazy, but I swear, passing those gates clouded everything. It was as if someone had erased the moon. My only light source were the thousands of candles littering the hundreds of graves around me. The graveyard was beautiful. Every stone was more like a coffin, a stone or marble cuboid with a unique and intricate headstone at one end. More than I cared to count, all lying in rows, so peaceful, so tidy. There looked to be at least 10, if not 20 candles of all shapes and sizes and colours on each grave. Some had burnt out already, most were still whispering away, flickering in the icy breeze. In the dim light, I could see a floor of mist biting at my boots, freezing my toes. As I stepped lightly, respectfully between the tombstones, I noticed that something wasn't right. I'm certain that's when the temperature dropped by 10 degrees. It was either that, or the feeling of dread we spoke about earlier. It was only when reading an epitaph, Marielle Novak, a loving mother, sister, and aunt, 10/01/1911 to 15/04/1991, that I realized what was off. The candles, they were all floating, just by half a centimeter, but they were all floating. I recoiled, I shivered in the mist and continued on my way, increasing in pace. This walk was the first time my anxiety was actually getting worse. Call me odd, but floating candles freak me out, especially when they all begin to rise around me and at different speeds and at different heights. I stopped, aghast, thousands of candles floating, some several meters off the ground. I turned on my heels and broke into a terrified run back toward the gates, but as I looked up, I saw nothing but absolute void beyond them. No street lights, no road, just blackness. I squinted hard while keeping my pace and pressed on. Surely it's just my eyesight with all these candles and nothing else. Then I stopped. You might wonder why. What could possibly stop me in my tracks as I was driven forward by fear and adrenaline? My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it, although it wasn't my heart I could hear. A sudden gust of frozen air blasted through the cemetery, extinguishing every flicker of light and my hope. I heard them all collapse around me, thousands of plastic, glass and metal candle holders falling to the ground and shattering from end to end across the hallowed grounds. I could see nothing, not even the gates in front of me. With my vision gone and the winter air inhibiting my sense of smell, all I could do was listen. Shuffling my feet slowly forward to the music of my boots scraping the cobblestone, I began to hear more sounds join the orchestra of fright that performed its piece for me. Scratches, howls, growls and rumbles all played their part. This was a dream, a freakish nightmare, I thought. I tried waking up, but I couldn't. For some unknown reason, I bent down to punch the concrete floor and felt my knuckle crack as it came into contact with the cobbles. Pain seared through my hand and up my arm, and I yelped out. I felt the warmth of my own blood drip down my fingers and realized this was no dream. Of course, my fingers. Touch, I can feel my way out of here. Almost as soon as I had that thought, I regretted it. Not only could I feel my own sticky blood, but I also opened up my senses to whatever else was blowing past me. Was it the wind? It feels too heavy to be nothing but a gust. As it passed, I heard grumbles, almost whispers. I spun on my heels several times, clawing the darkness, trying to find something, anything to grab onto. Salty tears began to run down my face, almost burning my face in the cold. As I squinted and scrambled about, I felt something big and heavy knock into my shoulder, nearly taking me off my feet. I kept my footing and threw a punch into the void. Then my eyes began to adjust to the darkness. I could make out the outlines of headstones in my periphery. As I noticed this, I felt something else run down my neck. It was warm and gloopy. It wasn't the feeling of terror, but that did accompany it. I turned once more and took in the last sight I would ever see in my living life. I looked it in the eyes. The fleeting moment of coming face to face with it dragged out for what felt like an eternity. Unfortunately, I can give it no other description than death.
Oh. Dina, how we feeling there, bud?
I heard a bang, and I don't want to go out of the door, but I have my sword right next to me, so it's fine.
I'm so sorry, Tom. I was stifling my laughter the entire time, not because your story was funny, but because I was watching Dina.
Yes,
I had to not look over at Dina.
Your writing is sensational.
Two things. Every time I made the mistake of making eye contact, it was just as he looked at the camera too, and I was like, oh my fuck. He knows. And then secondly, my god sister's last name is Novak, and that scared the absolute piss out of me.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So
That was so good.
Dina, what precautionary measures did you take during that story? I saw you get your blanket, close the door. What else did we do?
I closed the door, I got my sword, I'm fucking ready to go. I'm not fucking playing. I don't fucking like it. I can't do fear. I don't like fear.
You want to know what one of my favorite parts was? Just because of the timing of it, because we had the horror music going, and so when he talks about opening the wrought iron gate, that happened to be right at the part in the music where it was like...
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, that was so good. I'm so used to my only experience with you is the fantasy stuff so far, and those are amazing. But that book was I had goosebumps, man. That was so good.
Thanks, mate. Thank you so much. I used to write a lot of horror short stories. I've got several on Creepypasta. I just enjoy. I get these little ideas for some reason only horror, but I can never turn them into full-length stories. So I just write short stories with horror, and I've got about 5 now, I think. They're all in a public drive. They're available for anyone to read. I'll post a link again to Twitter.
Well, there you go. So
yeah,
that's awesome. We'll include a link in the description.
Thanks, mate.
Man, no thanks.
Nice.
I'm fucking sweating right now.
Oh man, I mean, listen, you're about anthology level. You just get a couple more, and you can just have your own little short story anthology, man.
Sure, fucking could.
Well, now that we've thoroughly terrified Dina, it is time for getting to know Tom. Well, this is where we get deep in there. We get to extract all of your innermost secrets, and in no way ask you ridiculous, inane questions. So, Dina, let's strip away the man. Let's get Tom on display. You don't actually have to take off your shirt, Tom.
Oh, sorry.
Strip the man, strip away the man, just depends.
Either or.
Need a couple more scotches first, I think.
Yeah.
All right. I need another drink. Oh, no. Am I out? Oh, no. Okay, hold on.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
And this is why we day drink on the weekends.
Hell yeah. I woke up at 6 a.m. today. What?
Yeah, we usually don't record at noon. Well, noon for me. I'm Pacific Standard Time, but
you're all
Tom is
drinking for me.
8 hours ahead of me, so we had to.
Yeah.
Any excuse to drink during the day, buddy. I'm all for it.
Yeah, we're all on British time right now, so let's drink to that.
Yeah.
Hey, let's all go to the pub.
Yep. Okay. Time for my questions. Fucker. Jeez Louise. So, okay, I was watching one of your older streams or whatever because I don't understand Twitch and apparently not everything is always live. So, shout out Zoe.
Video on demand,
You
Dina.
mentioned something... I'm so bad with technology. So you mentioned something about olives, and I wanted to know if there was like a war there that we need to be involved in.
Yes.
So I need more on that.
Yes. So the war is olives, yes or no? That is the question that everybody in my stream gets. Your answer doesn't affect how welcomed you are into the stream. It just affects who you are welcomed by. So because I am quarter Italian and I was raised by an Italian, essentially, I have a very strong connection with my Italian side, and therefore I love olives. I mean, that's not the sole reason. I just think they taste great. But many of my mods hate olives with a passion. So if you like olives, you're on my side. Great. Love you. But if you hate olives, the mods will favor you. So, either or, it's fine. But yeah, we had a Twitter poll about it. Olives, literally the poll was olives ? And the two options were yes, no. And yes won by 62%. And definitely not because I have a small group of Spaniards who inherently love olives to vote on it. That's definitely not why we won, but we won. That's all that matters. So
he went and hired a bunch of Twitter bots to answer his vote.
Yeah, no, they're real people. They're the SNFC.
Wait, so Daniel,
I feel like we need to go around and say, Dina, how do you feel about olives?
I love all olives.
Yeah.
Because I'm on Tom's side.
Daniel?
I'm pretty anti-olive, man.
No,
so this is why I'm the new co-host, right?
Oh my God.
But like, if given the option,
This is now the Olive Show with Tom and Dina.
Exactly. This is the
Yes.
It's the Olive Show with Dina and Tom. I'm pretty indifferent about olives. I don't like eating olives straight, but I like them on like sliced black olives on pizza. I'm a fan of that. I can enjoy a good dirty martini, but I'm not either or. This is another one of those cilantro things, by the way, and I will drink to that. Olives are very, very polarizing. It's another 50-50 thing. You either love them or hate them. But they do say that opposites attract, right? If you don't like olives, you'll probably end up with someone who does like olives.
The olive theory is based on my friends Marshall and Lily. He hates olives, she loves them. And in a weird way, that's what makes them such a great couple. Perfect balance.
So, okay, but now I've got I quickly got to ask, cilantro, yes or no?
Yes for me.
It's coriander there. Oh, shit.
Rapid fire.
It's in my eye. It's in my eye.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
How did Dina just go blind on our show?
Didn't your mouth's a bit lower,
I'll
mate?
just go ahead and say that's what she said.
Oh my God.
Tom, I'm sorry. In the midst of that chaos, I didn't hear your answer. Coriander, yay or nay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I love all sorts of coriander yellow. That's what she said. But yeah.
Oh my God.
Damn it.
I love them. This is my public declaration. Oh my God, I'm actually going blind.
Little did you know, Tom, it's actually you're on my show now because Dina's going to lose her vision.
She's just blind now. So
listen, if we call emergency services in Florida, they're just going to say something else more important is happening than you going blind. So.
Oh my God.
That's amnesia and blindness. So.
Dina, your occupation relies on your sight. You can't be throwing alcohol into your eyes like that.
I'm fine.
Lower, mate.
Don't tell my boss.
That might be the promo tag for this episode. We do a little clip.
I think I'm good.
No, guys, I'm completely rebranding this episode as the Olive Show with Dina and Tom.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
We're going to have olives
And
everywhere.
I'm going to do a different song, different logo. We're going to publish it just like this, but
I love it.
The Olive Show.
We'll just cut that in like right at that point where I got cut off from the show earlier. Like we'll just remove me, then just change the whole background.
Just a giant olive.
Just have like falling olives in the background.
Yeah, or falling olives. Yeah, that's cool. Dress up as olives.
Yeah, just one olive is fine too.
Is there a giant green olive Snapchat filter we can just put over Daniel's face?
That'd be cool.
That's incredible, though. I love that you and your mods though like fight about this. That's actually even better. That makes me a lot happier.
Yeah.
I don't like that they don't take a side, and I need like an aggressive stance from you, Tom. Okay?
An aggressive. What about olives?
If you're not with me, you're against me.
Yeah. Yeah, I need you to make a declaration right here, right now. I need a message from you, Tom, to anyone who doesn't like olives, to the people out there like me.
Okay. Well, if you don't like olives, you're wrong, and you should like olives. Simple as that. Simple as that.
That was so fucking polite.
Yeah, I was going to say that was the most polite. I need some fire,
I'm
Tom.
British. I can't help it.
All right, hold on a second. We just discovered something here. Daniel, rebuttal.
Well, listen, I like things that aren't bitter and have giant pits in them. I just want to be able to eat my food and enjoy it deliciously.
Tom, rebuttal.
Wait, here's the thing. Oh,
You can get pitted olives that don't have pits in them, and they're not necessarily bitter. It depends, green or black olives. You can get queen olives, which are really quite nice. So
let me ask you this, because you want to know what happens in America here, Tom. We put if I can't put it on a hot dog, then I don't want it. Am I going to put olives on a hot dog, Tom? Am I?
I would.
Am I going to have it at the game? Am I going to put some olives on a hot dog?
Yeah, I'd put olives on a hot dog.
I absolutely would.
Get like the big queen olives, slice them up.
You could put a tapenade on a hot dog. That would be nice.
Yeah.
A tapenade with some mustard.
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
There's going to be our poll question. Would you put olives on a hot dog?
I'm doing it right now. Olives on a hot dog? Question mark.
2 answers. Yes and yes.
Yes.
Yes and yes.
Yes.
Oh my god. Okay, wait, so can we do the non-British version of that question?
Sure.
Alright, Daniel, why the fuck would you not eat an olive? They're fucking amazing. What the fuck is wrong with you? How American was that?
That was the non-polite version.
That was the aggressive bullying version.
My tummy hurts.
America. Right.
This should go well.
It's okay. You already found your host, Dina. I'm just here to fill out my final obligation.
100%
It's the Olive Show.
I wish I bought a bowl of olives on now.
The Olive Show with Dina and Tom.
I'm here for it.
Oh shit!
All right.
Dina, you have more questions to ask the man. All right, I'm done being bullied.
I only asked one for
You
you.
just asked one question.
Okay.
Listen, this is the Olive Show. We can just talk about olives the whole time.
Yeah, so how do you take your martini? No, okay. What is the most embarrassing text you have ever sent?
Oh, man. The most embarrassing text
Well,
I've
he
ever
did
sent
DM me, you up,
was
bae?
probably
Like at 3 a.m.
Well,
I'm kidding.
I wasn't going to mention that one, but now that one. But it was probably around Christmas, and I was at school. I was like a 15-year-old kid, and I text the girl I liked with, "Hey, it's my New Year's resolution to have a girlfriend. Would you like to be the girlfriend?" And she never responded. And when I saw her in school the next day, she was like, "That text," and I was like, "Yeah, I was drinking." That's probably it. That's probably the most embarrassing.
I said I was drinking.
15-year-old me took a shot. 15-year-old me tried.
Dina always brings up like
Traumatic
things that need therapy afterwards. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, we had a whole conversation. What was your most embarrassing like elementary school like memory? And all of us just going around being rejected by women. And Dina's like, yes.
Yeah, I'm here to break people.
That's fine. I'm happy with that.
that's Dina's
Honestly,
tagline.
I probably need, I probably need therapy. It's fine. Okay. Moving on. Is hot dog? Oh, we're talking about olives on hot dogs. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Full circle, baby.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
All the way around.
Now, is a hot dog a sandwich? By default, no, because technically it's within one slice of bread. There's not a slice of bread each side of it. The hot dog is joined at the bottom, and therefore it's one slice of bread wrapped around the meat, which makes it not a sandwich, but indeed a hot dog.
Oh.
Okay.
Have you been asked this before?
Hold on. There are many sandwiches that are served on rolls, though, that are not cut all the way through. So where's the line?
I don't know a sandwich that's not cut.
A cheesesteak, a hoagie,
Po' boy.
I don't know what any of those words mean,
Is a cheesesteak
but
a sandwich?
Of course it is.
Hey, sorry, side note, is Dina's audio messed up for anyone?
Yeah,
Dina's mic's
mic
crackly.
I like that argument, though, Tom.
So-
Like, that's a solid...
A hot dog as a sandwich is like one of the greatest paradoxes of our time because there's arguments both ways and no one can actually come up with a real answer to that question.
It's Schrodinger's
It's not
hot
served
dog.
between two slices of bread is a solid argument. However, there are a lot of sandwiches that are not served between two slices of bread.
There are.
So
And
I think it's one of those situations where it's like Schrodinger's sandwich. It's both a sandwich and not a sandwich at the same time.
I can't think of a rebuttal to the other sandwiches.
I know that you've been staring long and passionately into Tom's eyes so far. They are pretty dreamy. Do you have any more questions for my man?
I guess not, because I took too long because my mic died, so.
Let's try this again. Gina, do you have any more questions, possibly about tattoos for our guy?
Can I see your tattoos, please?
Oh my god!
So we did see, we totally stalked your profile picture and we think we saw
zoomed
Link on your arm.
You did. So I am going to start with the other arm because I'm going to tease you for a little bit. So I have many tattoos that I love. So I have my Viking dude.
I'm not going to say that.
And I have my dragon, and I have my music one that I designed myself, and a friend drew it up for me. There's 5 different artists there with a classical influence because I love all sorts of music. There are my charity ones on my forearm as well. So each one of these was done for a different charity, which the tattoo parlors were collecting for at the time.
Hey, cool.
And then when I went to Sweden, I got a Vegvasir done here as well, which is a compass, like a Viking compass. And then my favorite piece, which isn't quite done yet, but I am booking in to get it completed, but I have a Legend of Zelda tattoo sleeve here, which this is going to be redone, but so this is the
Dude, Majora's Mask looks so cool.
it's amazing, right? Like my tattoo artist is incredible. Like the way she makes colors pop is just so unreal.
That's so high quality. Holy cow.
So.
Well done, man. Oh, I love the pixelated heart.
Yeah, so I really can't wait to get it finished.
For the folks listening on audio only, for the folks listening on audio only, I mean, these are some incredibly high quality things. He's actually just taken off his shirt. He's doing the rest of his shirt, the show topless. But for the folks at home listening on
He's
YouTube,
spinning it over his head. It's really hot.
yeah, so definitely you should be watching the
We
YouTube.
will be doing a full professional photo shoot of topless Tom and his tattoos, and we'll post that on Instagram.
Yeah, that's going to be part of our
Olives in the background.
artist calendar.
Falling olives.
He's going to have olives everywhere on his.
The olives calendar.
I'll be in a bucket, in a giant
fantastic.
bucket of olives, just throwing them over myself. Why not?
Man,
Oh my God.
Yep.
You're a visionary.
I mean, but like
That's
I
it.
love that because like
This is what every woman wants.
I just think it's so cool that like we're at this like stage in society where we can just proudly have just these badass like gamer tattoos, like, and you have all their like meaningful ones too, but it's just like I can't even imagine like people, you know, even 20 years ago like going that route, and it's just like all of us are like, fuck yeah, that's awesome, you know?
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
I want a tattoo.
Get one.
Man, I gotta get a tattoo.
Get loads.
I mean, I'll tell you this, as someone who has a lot of tattoos, most people think it's cool, but then you'll get some people that are like, aren't you worried about when you're like 80? And I'm like, no, I'll be a badass 80-year-old man if I'm alive.
Yeah, I don't want to get to 80 and then be like, oh, I didn't get a tattoo and enjoy my life because I was worried what I'd look like now at the end of my life. Like, I want to live and enjoy my life, so I'm going to get tattoos that I love. And if I regret them later, oh well, I enjoyed them for a time.
Yeah, it's not like you're going to be 80.
I gotta go get a tattoo.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going to be 80 and suddenly be like, you know what? I didn't like Legend of Zelda after all. Turns out I totally regret this.
Hey, it was an awful game.
Zelda's a bitch, man. Sorry.
Oh my god.
All right, so we're going to transition to the author question, portion of this, and we're going to get to talk about your books, maybe some of your Twitch. We'll maybe even get into some of the charity stuff, and I'm really excited about this one because, first of all, as you guys know, I'm a huge fantasy nerd. I love any of this type of stuff, and you gave me a lot of really unique things in your universe with Naisis. Is Naisis, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, perfect. And the first thing that I noticed is you have all of these different races on the planet. They're all unique. They all have different government structures. And there are, a lot of times in fantasy, I think people can get caught up in, well, I have to have elves and dwarves and maybe some orcs in there. And you went in a completely different direction with the races that inhabit your world. Can you tell me a little bit about the inspiration and just kind of how the race creation came about for each of these societies?
Yes. So basically, I knew early on that I wanted to write a fantasy. I was going into the sort of the tracks of high fantasy, like the Tolkien universe and things like that. But I knew that I didn't want the traditional elves, dwarves, orcs, as you say, goblins, all the established things. I wanted to make something new. I wanted to make something unique, something that is mine. And the races that I've created, in particular, they're not readers will notice that they're not totally unique because there's the argument that is anything unique anymore. So the Forsaken are essentially just undead, but they have their own sort of mechanics, the way they work and all that. The Marusai are essentially just an amphibious creature, so they dwell mainly underwater, but they come on land as well. And then the Korkrenes, which are just giant earth demons, all those things have kind of been done before. So there's inspiration drawn from those. But I wanted to write something that wasn't if I wrote elves, it would be the stereotypical elves that are very beautiful, very intelligent, very snooty, very ingrained in their selves and they don't care about any other races. And if I did dwarves, they'd be in the mountains, and because that just seems to be the norm. And I didn't want to do another carbon copy of what's been out. I wanted to explore more and I wanted to create more, essentially. So I did some races that aren't really familiar to people, like I said, the amphibious Marusai and the undead Forsaken and the earth demon called Krennis. I wanted to do something that I could explore without them fitting an already established archetype. So that's why I went for those unique races.
And I think that's amazing because actually you were touching on it earlier with the Forsaken, because that was one of the ones that stuck out to me, because we've seen so many different variants on undead and undead warriors, and usually they're always the bad guys, and to an extent they can be at times in your stories, but you did some very unique things with them that I would say are non-traditional for the undead legion, so to speak. Do you want to talk to me a little bit about the Forsaken?
Yeah, so the Forsaken are essentially a race. So the way the universe works, if someone dies, they go to the goddess of death, who's called Knas, and she ferries their soul across to the afterlife. The very first Forsaken was a Forsaken king that was so... he was a human king that was so... on his task. He wanted to accomplish his mission so much that not even death stopped him. So he had an argument with a goddess, essentially, and he won, and he reclaimed his soul back. But at a cost, he didn't become a human again. He was an undead. He had crimson eyes. He had an inhuman lifespan. He had barely any feeling anymore. He didn't fatigue. He didn't need sleep. He didn't hunger, anything like that. He was essentially a soul in a human body, in a jar, as it were. And he learned how to bring others back as well, who had just transitioned. So with the Forsaken, their inhumanly long lifespan gives them a different perspective over the world. Many of them have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years, so they have a very different perspective on how the world works. The naivety of hope has almost gone with them, and they look at things in a much more realistic way. And they're bored. They're living for 100 years. They're bored. They often do things just for amusement, so they're a very interesting and sort of, I would say, chaotic race to write. And my favorite characters that I do write are the Forsaken characters, so I really enjoy them.
Yeah, I was going to say Dean is definitely Forsaken. That's 100% right there.
Mm-hmm. I am complete chaos. I am chaos.
Captain Levana will be your favorite character.
I think that
Chaos incarnate.
Yeah, I was going to say the captain's going to be your favorite character for sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to read it.
And like that's what I like, is when there's a little bit of kind of subverting the expectations. And, one of the things that I think was really interesting is that all of your leaders, your kings, your leaders of these different groups, they're very hands-on, because usually when I read stories from perspectives, it's more the political machinations where they're like, all right, I'm going to send you out to do this. But, in the first book, King Aerys III, he's like, listen, I'm rolling out here. I'm going to do this diplomacy by myself, basically. And all the leaders, they're not hiding behind the throne and using cat's paws. They're out in front, not necessarily always in battle, even though they do fight, but just in the actual inner workings of the world. Was that a conscious choice that you really wanted to present your leaders differently?
Yeah, that kind of aligns with my internal beliefs anyway, that leaders should lead from the front, right? We all experience it in workplaces. We've all been in a job where the boss is someone who just likes to sit there and tell everyone else what to do and doesn't do anything themselves, and it's very frustrating. We've all been in jobs like that. We all know people that have been in jobs like that. Many of us have been in jobs where the leaders, the bosses, are hands-on, and they show you what to do, and they do it with you. And we all know it makes for such a much more enjoyable work experience. It's a better place to be. The boss tends to be like a nicer person. So I just wanted to translate that to my leaders, that they're leaders because they lead, not because they command. So that's the thing there.
And I think that was really like fun and an interesting kind of uniqueness to the story. And, one of the other things, and I'd be remiss, especially now that I know some of the, you're into Final Fantasy, you're into, Legend of Zelda. One of my favorite kind of in-world creatures was your kitelings. Talk to me about their inspiration and kind of what went about with that, because I love, our boy Violet Wing,
Yeah, so kitelings were definitely inspired by chocobos from Final Fantasy, 100%. I wanted a type of a steed like a horse, but that could also fight as well. So instantly I go to chocobos in Final Fantasy because they're amazing, So yeah, I just use them as an inspiration to draw up something that was similar, a bird that goes on two legs with a razor sharp beak, that can also fight, that are also, birds are birds are very intelligent creatures, as we know. So a kiteling is also very intelligent. Yeah. A kiteling can understand its owner's needs and desires and respond to them. So I think it was really interesting to write a dynamic between kiteling and their master type thing, which was really fun. And it's just more interesting to write than horses as well. Not that I don't I love horses as well, but it's just interesting to write this dynamic as well.
Where did we talk about like the different kind of races and giving us something new, but where did the overall inspiration, like where did this story begin in your head when you first, just had that aha moment? You're like, this could be something.
So when I was about 16 years old, I had a dream, and I am a very active dreamer. My dreams are wild, crazy adventures. And I had this dream, and it wasn't much. It was just like a small, like new worlds type thing that I wrote 10 chapters of. And unfortunately, I deleted them, and I wish I hadn't, because they were terrible. They were beautifully terrible, and I wish I could look back on them and laugh at myself. But that world that I created wasn't Nasus at the time. That was on Earth. It was set in the future with all these different races still in it. It was a very different story. I was unhappy with it, so I broke it down to its foundations, rebuilt it from scratch, taking all the elements I loved and omitting all the stuff that was rubbish. And I rebuilt Nasus from those foundations, and it took about 10 years to plan and write the first book. So it was quite a while in the making, but yeah, it all came from a dream. So
there you go. I mean, if that's not like...
That's the best books that come from a dream.
Yeah, that's not like just the most creative part of... So if you had it your way, and, you know, the sales and the interest and everything comes through, you know, what kind of length do you see for your series here?
So the Age of Reckoning itself is just a trilogy. It's a 3-part. It focuses on one specific period of time within the world. But if everything went as I would love it to, it would be a universe akin to the Star Wars extended universe, you know, akin to the Tolkien universe. It would be a huge expanded thing that isn't written just by me, but is also written by fans, you know, that is then approved. Like, this is amazing. This can be approved. This is part of the universe. Stuff that becomes more than just me as an author. It kind of takes on a mind of itself and becomes its own entity, and people are starting to talk about the word of Nasus, and you know, I'm just the spark that lit the flame, you know, but it's burning brightly by itself, and everyone's into it and contributing to it, and it's like I just want this awesome community of people that just love the universe as much as I do, and people that even share their ideas with me about the universe, and I could say to them, yeah, that sounds about right, you know, like something I've not thought about, but someone would go, what if this happened at this time? And I'm like, do you know what, yeah, that sounds pretty good, I would say that's canon. And you know, like that kind of thing. I just want this huge community of people to just love it as much as I do.
I love that. That's great. Okay, I'm sorry.
So it sounds like you just asked your new co-host Dina to write a spin-off for you in the universe.
Yeah, do
fanfic.
it.
There we go.
Fanfic.
I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll be your first fanfic.
Yeah, listen, if I ever write a fanfic for you, Thomas, I'm definitely going to put some bunny rabbits and rainbows on the Queen of Undead's armor, because I felt like that was a missed opportunity in your...
Yeah.
So
try it. Do it. It's now canon, yep.
No, I'm going to actually take it seriously, because I respect him and Daniel doesn't respect you.
No,
so.
this was a line from his book. This was a line from his book that I quoted, all right?
You know what, Daniel?
It was.
You know what, Daniel? He's my world now.
You know what, Dina?
What?
Daniel read The Age of Reckoning, Volume 1 and 2, okay?
Okay, here's the thing. I was planning on buying it tonight. I just haven't had time, okay? Why you gotta out me like that?
You're the one. You said you didn't read it like 10 minutes ago.
Tom is my
world. All right. We're right on our way to a love dodecahedron, Daniel.
The dodecahedron's coming.
Yeah.
All right, so I got one more question for In the Universe, because one of the most interesting things that I saw in the books, and I'm trying to find the right way to word it. In a lot of fantasy stories, I would say that it's about a character living in the world and going through. So, like, you know, if it's, you know, Patrick Rothfuss, it's, you know, quotes story, right? And even though there's a lot of just colorful, interesting characters from all the different races, it's not necessarily as much about any of the individual characters or their journey. It's about the world in the time period. And I feel like you kind of take us out and give us that broader view of everything that's going on. And I thought that was really different. Was that a creative choice that you went for in this?
Yeah, definitely. I wanted the story to be not about one or two individuals. I wanted it to be about the world itself, to tell everyone about the world and show people what this world is about. I mean, you look at anything in history and things don't always go right for people. Kings die in battles, you know, like things happen, like people don't have plot armor in real life. And I wanted to make it relatable in that sort of sense that, you know, reading an active, living, realistic world that people aren't safe. There isn't a main character that is safe forever. There isn't this whole overarching of one person fixing the whole world. You know, it's a team effort from a lot of different people, and some of those people just don't make it. And you know, that's what would happen in reality. So that was my direction there. I wanted to sort of make it relatable to people in the real world and not give people this, like, sometimes I read, like, that's a trope. You were talking about tropes in a previous episode, and the one I hate is the unrealistic plot armor. I hate that. I hate characters that survive a situation they shouldn't survive, like just because they're the main character. I hate that. And for me, as you would know as well, Daniel, I don't do that. I don't do plot armor. If someone is in a bad situation, they won't make it through. So
Dina doesn't know.
Dina, you will know. You will know shortly.
Hashtag Dina doesn't know.
You'll know before you write the fanfic, at least.
I will.
Yeah, exactly. I was trying to say it, and I'm not going to say it in any spoilers, but at the end of book 1, that was a bold and unexpected choice, and no one is saved by plot armor.
Great, you just spoiled the whole thing for me.
Oh no,
That's
am I
right.
gonna cry?
Just did.
It's Peter Sean's book
cry?
all over again.
Maybe.
Oh, fucking hell. We're going to have to edit all of this out.
No, I didn't give anything away.
Yes, you did, because now I know that I'm going to be devastated.
You like unhappy endings, okay?
Yeah.
I do. I love them.
You love
Fuck
horror.
everybody up.
See? There you go. She loves horror.
No.
Yep.
All right, man. Like I said, I could talk about this for hours. So for the sake of just being, cognizant of your time here, we are going to get on to our off-the-wall question portion. Dina, did you do your homework this time?
I did my homework this time, just for my new co-host.
It's all about the olives.
It is all about the olives. Do I have to go
Hold
first?
on, hold
I don't wanna
on.
go first.
Quick olive update. Quick olive update, everybody.
Oh, okay.
Olives on a hot dog. 88.9% says no.
Oh, man. Tom, we're going to have to die on this hill.
I'm disappointed. That's all I can
Getting
say.
on that hill, man.
Everyone that voted
this
no.
is what I need Tom to do.
Disappointed in you. I'm disappointed. Open your mind. Have olives.
There you go. There you go. That was more aggressive. We like it.
You know what? Tom is so polite, but when he tells me he's disappointed in me, I feel it.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah, it hurt. I was like,
Tom,
oh.
this is what we're going to need you to do tomorrow. I need you to go out and get a hot dog, put some olives on it, and just take like a fleet of you just like downing it.
Oh, yeah, and we'll be posting
Can you do
that.
Yeah, I will try and find somewhere that sells hot dogs. They're not that common here, sadly. I probably have to make my own.
You know what? A sausage will suffice.
Yeah.
A sausage will suffice.
I'll do a sausage in a bun.
Full circle. No, wait, I forgot. Oh, yeah, full circle. OnlyFans jokes don't go. They don't. They're irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't try
right,
to
so-
start an OnlyFans where you eat olives on hot dogs.
I mean, I'd subscribe.
I'll just give the people what they want.
Yeah, exactly. Just him shirtless like he was already earlier in the episode, and
And still is.
still
On the table,
shirtless.
swinging his shirt. Yeah.
He's actually
whole
got olive juice.
episode, he was
He's
just
poured
standing there.
olive juice
Yeah.
all over his body to make the muscles gleam.
Yep.
It's really hot.
Visualize that, listeners.
What can I say? People
So-
pleaser.
All right, I got a two-parter for you.
Oh,
your mind.
It's very British.
Because I won't make you go favorite, but who would you say is the most badass Final Fantasy character of all time?
Sephiroth, without a
Like
doubt.
just the biggest ass kicker.
Sephiroth, 100%.
Ooh.
Good answer.
All right, now I've got a part 2 for you. Sephiroth v Link. How's this go down? Who wins?
Uh-oh.
Sephiroth probably would, because Sephiroth has no fucking morals about anything. He would just slice Link down in his... Link's like, oh, I'll be all courageous and I've got the Master Sword, and Sephiroth's like, that only seals Ganon, you bitch. I've got a 70-foot katana that I'm gonna slice you up with.
Even like Breath of the Wild Link,
Yeah.
with all his abilities, you
Yeah.
don't think he could stand
A
up?
Master Sword versus a 70-foot katana. Sephiroth can slice buildings in half, mate. I've never seen Link do that. He can't cut a tree.
Why Why you gotta play me like that, Sean? Why you gotta play me like that? What the
we have to have at least one obligatory Dina Raptor per episode, just like.
Wait, are we gonna go through and like do like the emotions? Like a sad raptor is like.
Not during this session, but we will do a separate session where we have the entire spoken language of Dina Raptor recorded.
Actually, you know what, Tom, could you give me your Velociraptor sound, your best Velociraptor? Yes. Yes.
That was like that was like a Velociraptor and a Chihuahua hybrid.
Velociwawa.
That was awesome.
What the fuck?
That was. We got more soundboard material now.
Oh god.
Oh my gosh. All right, Dina, hit us. What do we got? What's our off the wall?
Your character fights. Oh, pick like one character from your book to fight Link, and then tell me why and who wins.
Okay, so it's gonna have to be Captain Lavana because she's my baby, and she would fight Link because, and Dina, you will,
and Dina's favorite character.
You will love her.
I was just about to say
because she is so chaotic. She enjoys the warm spray of blood on her face. She physically revels in it. She is just without morals. She loves the spray in her face. She's without morals. She's without any kind of like, I don't know what I'm trying to fucking say. She's she would smash Link up. She would fuck him up.
She has started some serious shit in these books just because she was bored. She's like, you know what? I just want to go out and murder some shit.
Yeah.
I woke up today and I chose violence.
I've had a very kind of like low-key week, and I just woke up today and I was like, you know what? I need to do something.
It's not going well for Link in this podcast, is it?
I relate.
Man, I thought for sure you would be a 100% Link backer. But,
I fucking love Link. But
I guess you need a Sephiroth tattoo now.
I did too. That's why I picked it.
My entire leg.
Okay. Yeah, your whole leg. It's got to be bigger than a Link tattoo for sure.
Yeah.
And so again, guys, just to be clear, because I feel like if you don't want to read these books by now, like, do you have a pulse? Like, are you Forsaken? Like, I don't get it. You can find The Age of Reckoning online at any place that you can buy books. You can get it on Amazon. We'll have links in the description. It's even on Audible, which I was super excited about. You're our first author that's got an audiobook version of their book.
Yeah, so Daniel could not have to read it and just listen to it.
I was driving. The second one I had to read.
I'm actually recording the second one.
Oh, you are?
Well,
you didn't do it in time for the episode.
I know. I'm only on like chapter 9.
Wait, did he say he was holding it? Did I not hear that correctly?
I'm recording the second audiobook because I had some feedback.
Did he say he was holding it or editing it?
You recorded your own Audible version of your book. That's so amazing.
The second one, yeah, not the first one, but the second one I'm doing right now.
Voice.
Hold up.
Oh, you didn't do the first one.
You're reading it?
I'm reading the second one. Yes. I'm doing the second one myself.
Voice, like.
It will be much like
you are
this.
doing Mike voice on it, though, right?
Yes,
that'll be my.
This will be my voice.
Yes.
Woo!
The voice that makes chairs vibrate.
Oh, Dina felt that one.
Oh my god.
Yep, she felt that one.
I don't want to talk about it.
So, Tom, normally we would ask you to do story time with us, but we've gone on so long already. So I'm going to ask you to save a story for when you come back on to promote book 3 of your series.
Damn it.
I know.
But you will not escape having to read some bad erotica.
Perfect.
So, all right. So this is going to be coming over in 1 second. Mm-hmm. This is one that I am so excited because you're gonna hate yourself by the end of it, but it is gonna be beautiful.
You might hate me more than I hate myself by the end of it. So,
oh no, I just can't wait for this to be done in the freaking ASMR voice.
Oh, it's gonna be. I'm already preparing the microphone.
This is the first erotic reading I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
Really?
And, as a background, guys, we don't hate authors. We don't hate anyone. These are the worst romance novels. There's a award every year.
Reading ahead, Tom. Read it cold.
And it is Ed King by David Gutterson from 2011, number 9 on this list. Please, take it away, Tom.
She gave him this particular sign, this clear permission, and he began a careful prodding of her perineum, which was as good a starting place as any for Diane, because it instigated those processes of memory her sexuality required. It triggered memories with the uncanny force of déjà vu, and what she thought of as Ed slaved away was a boy from her village who had fingered her adroitly in a greenhouse thick with green tomatoes. The boy in the greenhouse was flawlessly adolescent and shockingly beautiful, and in his innocent way, he'd made her come resoundingly. Apollo with his modest marble membrum virile, otherwise known in her village as a skin flute. The memory sparkled as Ed intently suckled. They were both on their left sides now, Ed behind, where he'd pried her right shoulder backward, deeply inserted and twisted his head so he could suckle away madly. He freed himself from her nipple after a long attachment so as to kiss her on the mouth at length, as if seeking to set the world record for kiss duration. And she smelled her breast on his breath, which was otherwise piquant with saliva, a little tart, a little bitter, and humid with the churning underworld, the raw metabolism and generative heat beneath the flawless exterior. Jim Long's odor had been a little like Norgahide, and his mouth, lips, and tongue had often tasted metallic, or just as often steeped in vermouth. Whereas Ed smelled vulnerably digestive, warm-blooded, moist, and just now, breastfed. Oh, I am feeling that. I am feeling that myself.
No!
What did he say? The smell of breast on his breath?
Something like that.
Okay, I completely did a spit take all over my keyboard when you said skin flute, by the way.
That was so good.
It took everything I had not to lose it during that.
First time I've
Miles above my favorite of all of them, and you nailed it.
Oh my god. That was the first time I've ever heard skin flute used non-ironically. In my village.
In my village.
First of all, can we address something real quick? Everybody shut the fuck up. Daniel?
Yeah.
Daniel, look me in the goddamn eyes right now.
Yeah.
Why would you use Diane? That is my mother's name, you fucker.
Oh my god, I didn't even
You
realize
fucker.
God, every single time Dina has some kind of personal attachment to every story, and this is the worst one.
This is the worst one. And I read it in the best
way. Last episode it was, I had
that
a
was
pet
so good.
named Sadie,
Yeah,
but
Sadie,
now it's her mom.
I didn't even think about that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you just
I'm
read
so
about the seduction of Dina's mom.
I think Dina, that could have slid by, but you just called it out. And now everyone's going to know.
Because I can't let it go because
all I
she
can think
listens
about
to
now.
these. And now all that I'm going to hear when I rewatch this is Tom talking about my mother. Like I'm...
Well, Diane.
That's hot.
Hey!
Oh
my
God. No.
Yes.
She's going to love that, Tom. She's going to love that. She's our biggest
She's
fan.
going to comment. She's going to comment.
I've never
Mom,
been...
if you make a feet comment right now, I'm going to...
Oh my God.
Tom, you were going to be the best new co-host of this show. My God.
So hold on a second. Daniel, the original idea, Tom, just full
I'm a little
transparency
disappointed
here. The original idea was Daniel was supposed to source some erotic Legend of Zelda fan fiction for you to read.
I didn't have time.
That's fair. That's fair.
He resorted to our wheelhouse, our well, which is the annual Bad Erotica Awards or whatever it is that we found on Google.
Cool.
So I'm glad he did though, because that was fucking fantastic.
I mean, like next time, right?
No,
next time.
Here's the thing: is next time we're gonna give you a link that when you come back. Oh my God! I mean, dude, your voice is perfect for this.
Dude, the mic voice is just...
The mic voice.
Yeah, we might have, like, in a future episode, we
tone.
might just bring you back in to do the Bad Erotica read at the end. Be like, all right, listen, guys, the folks want Tom.
I'm in. I'll do it.
Yeah, we're just going to have you pre-record several segments that we can just put in.
I'll do it.
Oh
I'll do
gosh.
it. I'm in.
I can't process it yet. Daniel, fuck you.
Is it too much for you, Dina?
Listen, Dina, you'll have a month to forget. You'll have a month to forget all about it, and then when you rewatch this episode when it publishes, you'll be pleasantly surprised by how close to home that story is for you.
You'll listen to it all over again.
I don't think there's going to be any pleasantness about that.
Yep. Oh my gosh. All right. So before we go, we have another tradition on this show. It is called the 1 second pitch. Now we're gonna give you a chance to actually pitch your book too, like in a normal space of time. But you've got 1 second.
Literally 1 second.
Literally 1 second to tell people why to buy your book, or why they should read your book. All right, books.
Count them down. All
right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Captain Varna will kill you if you don't.
Yes, more threats of murder. We love it on this show.
You know what?
Was so good.
It's so effective. It's so effective. Peter Shaw
we'll
did
just
it.
Kill you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
is that an English thing?
Yeah.
The threats of violence if you don't buy my book.
Yeah, it's layered in like undertones of politeness, and no one believes us.
Though, because it's very ironic.
And then the fury is released.
Because he was so polite earlier with his olive pitch, and now all of a sudden it's like death, and I'm like...
He was saving
He's
it.
polite about if you don't like olives, but if you don't read his book, like, he can't help you. That's
You're fucking dead.
Yeah. All right, so give us the real pitch. Tell the folks at home why they should read this series.
So Naesis is a wonderful world that is very lore rich. It's very character driven. It has unique races that you've probably never read before. And it's a grand war, as everybody loves. But there's also lots of mystery to be uncovered still. There are tremors throughout the first book. Where did they come from? What is the source? Why do they exist? There's a lot of interesting characters that just exist for the sake of violence because they're bored. What are their motives? Learn more about them in their past.
You can find The Age of Reckoning, Volumes 1, Volumes 2, anywhere that books are sold. You can even get it on Audible. They are incredible. I cannot recommend these enough, and I can't wait for number 3, man.
And we will have you back for number 3.
All right, so also, Thomas, tell people a little bit about your Twitch. Give us a little bit of, what do you usually play? Where can they find you?
So on Twitch, I'm a variety streamer. I play a wide range of games. I focus more on my community than I do on the gameplay. So you'll often see me playing games that don't require much attention so I can focus on you guys. I aim to build one of the safest spaces on Twitch. I aim to build one of the safest spaces on Twitch. So everybody twitching. So everybody's welcome to come along, introduce yourself. Don't be afraid to talk. If you want to lurk as well, that's more than appreciated. We love our lurkers over on my Twitch channel. And the community is building up to be really, really nice. You'll be really welcome whether you love olives or not. You'll be absolutely welcome in my Twitch channel. So please come along.
And by the way, Don't Make It Weird is officially a subscriber of the Naesis Twitch.tv channel.
Woo!
So happy.
And so also talk to us a little bit about this charity. I know it's near and dear to your heart, the Pancreatic Cancer UK charity.
Okay, so when I was 14 years old, my dad was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and 6 weeks later he passed away. It is the cancer with the highest mortality rate. The rate of survival is 1% of people diagnosed live more than 5 years. So it's one that needs research because there are often no symptoms until it's too late. The people that survive more than 5 years are the people that have it discovered accidentally because they go into hospital for another illness and then it's discovered. So more research needs to be done with cancer in general, but because of my father, obviously pancreatic cancer is dear to my heart. My tattoos are actually in memory to my dad, my Zelda sleeve, because we always used to play Zelda together. So it's like a nice memorial to him. So they're also one of the most underfunded cancer charities as well, because not only are they the rarest, they're the one with some of the least research on them. So anything goes a long way to help. And they're a charity that are so dear to my heart, and I'll always support them and the work they do. So, yeah.
That's amazing, man. I know for sure I will be notating at the end of this show. I really appreciate you bringing light to this, and I know that that's something that matters a lot to all of us, being able to, support a really worthy cause. So on that note, guys, we're just about out of here. Tom, where can the folks find you online on Twitch and on Twitter? Give us the
Twitcher, actually.
The Twitcher, yes.
The Twitcher. So I am basically at Naesus on everything. That's Naeisus. If you want to go to my website at www.naesus.com, at the top there are links to literally everything, including my Twitch, my Discord, my Goodreads, my Twitter, my Instagram, my Facebook. So it's all there.
Man, thank you so much for joining us. This was such a blast, and I know producer Sean is going to hate himself having to edit this into some coherent form, but this was so incredible. Guys, we're out of here. I am one of your co-hosts, Daniel Quigley. You can find me on Twitter at DanQWritesThing. DanQWritesThing, just singular, and it's not Dank Rain. Also, hi Shannon, we love you. Fjords, Dinosaurus, where can they find you?
You can find me at DinosaurusD. That's
Big D.
These nuts. On Twitter.
And producer Sean, where can we find you?
I will be hoping that everyone listening will join me in supporting the Pancreatic Cancer UK charity at pancreaticcancer.org.uk. And thank you very much, Tom, for joining us.
That was incredible, man.
Thank you for having
Jazz
me.
hands,
It's
everyone.
been amazing.
The Don't Make It Weird podcast, hosted by Daniel Quigley and Dinosaurus. Produced by me, Sean Holden. Music by Amaria. A very special thanks to our guest this week, Thomas Anthony Lay. You can find links to his books, his Twitch channel, and all of his stuff at naesus.com. That's Naeisus.com. Please join us in giving by sending a donation to the Pancreatic Cancer UK charity, pancreaticcancer.org.uk. You can find the video version of the show on YouTube, and the audio-only version on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you find your podcasts. We'll be back again next week. Thanks to all of you weirdos for watching or listening to our show. See you later.